All right, in this video, I'm going to do my best to explain Parkinson's law. This is one of the craziest laws out there, and I think in my life experience, it is true. It's truer than the sky being blue. If you like these type of videos, make sure and subscribe to this channel. You could be the first subscriber. You might even be the first person watching this video. So thanks ahead of time. Feel free to comment. I accept all comments. I always read my comments because right now, nobody's commented on any of my videos. So, all right. So let's talk about Parkinson's law. The first law. Work expands to fill the time available for its completion. And I will use an example of this. I used to be a video editor, a freelance video editor a long time ago for several companies in a small city called Calgary. And one of the companies I worked for was, they developed the opening for the Super Bowl and all this kind of stuff. So I was a freelance editor. They had multiple editing suites. Some of these computers were like $40,000, $50,000 editing suites. So it was fantastic. Back then they called them Avids. They don't exist anymore. Anyways, I was working for another company, besides that one, another company that was producing documentaries. And I remember working on a documentary for them, and they told me that I had a deadline that was 2 weeks away. This was a Thursday afternoon, and I knew that the deadline for this show to air was next Sunday, so a week and a couple of days. One of the assistants came in and said that they actually made a mistake on the calendar, and it wasn't next Sunday, it was actually this Sunday. So I'm like, oh my God, I still have a week's worth of editing, like at least 40 hours of editing. And they're like, well, you're going to have to figure something out because it has to get shipped by Purelator on Saturday. So I had just finished working an 8-hour shift on Thursday. So I'm like, oh crap. Okay, called the wife, said I got to finish this project. I'll probably be coming home late, so don't wait up for me, whatever it is. So I ended up working all of Thursday, all of Friday to Saturday morning. At 7 o'clock, the Purelator guy showed up and I handed him the finished documentary. So that was about 40 hours of work compressed into 2 or 3 days, and I met the deadline. Now, is that something sustainable? No, but it shows you that if you have a deadline, you're going to expand to meet that deadline, and if it gets shrunk, you'll meet that as well. So that's why in some of my other videos, if you watch, I deliver potato chips for a living right now, and my hours are anywhere from 40 to 60 hours a week, and during Christmas time, it was higher than 60 hours because people are buying potato chips like crazy. And during last year's pandemic, still going on, people were crazy. They were cleaning out the potato chips. It was like they panicked, bought all the chips and went home. So I shattered all records when it comes to sales for selling potato chips. It was ridiculous. Anyways, what was my point in all that? Don't even know where I was going to go. Anyways, deadlines. Oh yeah, the reason why I'm trying to shrink my time down is because I find that if I have scheduled an 8-hour day, I'll fill that 8-hour day. And I thought, what if I can just be a little bit more efficient in what I do and shave it down? And I managed to do that on Friday, even though it was 7 hours and 50 minutes. That was good for me because normally it's a 10-hour day, sometimes 12 hours on a Friday. So I was done by 11:30 on Friday, went with my son-in-law and hit a bucket of balls. So my goal this coming week is to shrink my time down so that I can get it to a 25-hour work week. Instead of 40 or 50 hours, going down to 25. Is it possible? We'll see. I'm going to document my whole journey. But understanding Parkinson's law is if you allow for 12 hours, you're probably going to take 12 hours because you're going to think, oh, I have an hour for lunch. I can take a coffee break. I can do all this kind of stuff, chit chat, whatever it is, go get the vehicle washed, whatever. You just make up stuff to fill in that 12-hour gap. And I think that's what's happening with the corporate world as well, is they have 8 hours. Statistically, people only work 2 to 3 hours a day. Go look this up. Do the research if you want to waste time. Go do research. 2 to 3 hours. It's ridiculous. I've known that. I used to sell coffee for a living. I remember going downtown to a Husky building, and I had a meeting. It was about 2:30 in the afternoon, and I remember the lineups were inside the main floor, like probably 50, 60 people long, because they're waiting for Starbucks. They're waiting for their coffee, and they only had a 15-minute break, but it took them 15 minutes to wait in line to grab their coffee and another 5-10 minutes to chit-chat. Suddenly it's a 30-minute break, and they were all doing this. It was ridiculous. So yeah, so an 8-hour day for corporate is probably, the true work is probably 3 hours. 3 hours, I would say. So the second law of Parkinson's, I'm going to wrap this video up, is expenditures rise to meet income. And there's a bunch more laws. I'm only going to focus on these two. Expenditures rise to meet income. What does that mean? If you are used to making $20,000 a year, your expenses are going to meet that. You're going to spend $20,000 because you feel it's your right. You justify all your expenses like, hey, I can cover this. I can go paycheck to paycheck, whatever it is. If you make $50,000 a year, your expenses will go up. If you make $100,000 a year, same thing. Your expenses are going to go up. You're going to start buying fancy cars. You're going to buy a home. You're going to do all this kind of stuff. And it's just an interesting law. This is all based on data. This is not my opinion. So the first law, work expands to fill the time available to its completion. Second law, expenditures rise to meet income. And this is true. Broke people don't spend money because they don't have money to spend. Middle class, if you will, anyone, I would say in the middle class category would be anyone from $30,000 to $500,000, somewhere in that range. You're still considered middle class because you got bills to pay, all this kind of stuff, and your expenses start matching what your income is. So we're not talking about self-employment versus employees, all this kind of stuff, but just this is general stuff. So I hope this helps explain Parkinson's law a little bit. That's why I'm trying to shrink the time down that I work, because I love to golf, but I also want to be more efficient in everything that I do. So if you like this type of video, if you'd like me to go deeper and all this kind of stuff, let me know. If you don't like this video, you can let me know that too by just giving me a thumbs down. Thumbs down lets me know, hey, these videos suck. But if you give me a thumbs up, I'm like, you know what? Maybe I'm onto something. And don't forget to subscribe. Click on that bell, because right now you never know when I'm going to make a video. It's usually quite random right now. I know YouTube doesn't like that, doesn't like it when I make videos whenever, but I don't care. I make a video when I feel like it. Thanks for watching. Another channel that I would highly recommend is Jordan Peterson's podcast. Anything that he has on YouTube, watch it. Reading this book right now, Beyond Order. I also have the audiobook when I drive around. Helps me get through this book a lot faster as well. So yeah, that's what I would recommend. In my last video, I recommended Joshua Fluke. I think you need to check his channel down. If you like gaming, check out Dr. Disrespect. Love his channel. It's amazing. I don't game too much. I don't game at all anymore. But it's not to say I don't like watching his channel. Anyways, thanks a lot. Again, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in another video. Bye for now.